Please excuse the mess. The SonarFeed appears to be having a few difficulties. Hello and welcome to the SonarFeed. Tonight is a very special edition of the SonarFeed coming to you live from the Berliner Pub. Tonight we cover not just one, not two, but three local soccer teams. As a matter of fact, our man Sonar here was doing the calls last night, Friday night, and the PA announcing at Starfire. And we have a little recording of that. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Can you stand? Take your hats off, and stand for the national anthem. Oh, Canada! Oh shit! All right, take it, Sonar.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 117 of SonarFeed. Once again, seven. Every time since we hit 100, it's kind of one of those, wow, there's actually 2 digits in front of that number, and we have 3 digits. Three digits. I can't do math, obviously. That was pretty awesome, wasn't it? 4 digits. So we are live here on SonarFeed.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight we are joined by a very... Whoa, look at you go. Stealing Hugo's thunder on his... in a good way.
It's synergy right here. It's synergy. It's the beards. The beards are connected.
They are. We all have beards tonight.
If Hugo and I get too close to each other,
we'll stick, yeah. One's Velcro, one's the other side, so they stick together. So we are here. We're going to do our normal cheers. So cheers, boys and girls.
Boys.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Cheers, everybody. Everybody drinking at home. When I say the secret word for the podcast today, bacon. If you hear bacon, you're not going to see it across the screen, but if you hear bacon, drink with us.
So my name is Erin Sonar Riley. My Twitter handle, Sonar Riley. Across from me, that way, is Hugo Garcia.
At Me Be The Seattle.
And our special guest tonight, as if he needs any introduction, which may be some of the new folks, but Dave Clark, a.k.a.
At Better Than, BEDIRTHAN.
And you are local legend, local hero, local myth of the blog sphere. Is that a fair word to use?
Sure.
The journalistic center of the Sounder community.
Yeah.
Right? Fair?
Yeah. If you're looking for Sounder stuff online, we're the place to go.
And where do you go to do that?
Sounder@heart.com.
Sounder at, it's A-T.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spell it all out as if it's one word.
Press
Press.com. Or, click it in your search engine of choice.
Yep, do that.
That works too.
And always, the best part is, search with some other funny character, because I know you guys get that data. Right?
Yeah, we do wind up, obviously random S's show up there, but there's other, weird stuff that has shown
nothing to do with it. That's my favorite one.
I've never written a story about that, and somehow you found us.
Exactly. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about our Friday night, which was kind of a out-of-the-blue, pretty awesome night for us, which was FC Tacoma and the U.S. Open Cup, who were big Open Cup fans. Then we're going to talk a little bit of Sounders and Sounders 2, and then whatever else comes along. So as you guys have questions here, feel free to give us questions, thoughts. We can always change. We always change things up. We're kind of on the fly. We're the casual podcast, if you will.
Yep.
We like to have a good time. We like to be good. So I know we have some new people here, and we have some old people here. Not old. We have some experienced viewers in the audience. So what we always do is we open up with a quick little conversation about how things have been. So Dave, since you were the longest away from us, 6 weeks, how have you been? What have you been up to? I know you've been doing some cool stuff lately.
Oh, wait, some cool stuff. You've built me up a little bit. All right.
Well, I think it's cool.
Been having fun. I love when the season comes back because I get the opportunity to go to practice once in a while because I have some weekdays off, and so I've done that a little bit. It was good to see the guys again.
Yep.
So that's part of it. I did my Sundays tweet casting of John Ryan's touches of the football.
Yep.
Every time he touched it, I would tweet about it.
Yep.
That was a short one this weekend.
Run or pass?
The pass was...
No, run or pass. What would you do?
Oh, I think they made the right decision, actually.
I know. From a technical standpoint, they did, yeah.
I didn't think it when it was an emotional reaction. I didn't think it was the right thing, but now later it's the right thing.
So I saw a tweet of his last night, and it
he's-
was about bar rescue. He wasn't watching the Oscars. He was watching
No.
bar rescue. I think.
That was after the Oscars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they switched over. He and his fiance switched over to Bar Rescue. They're big Bar Rescue fans. Which his fiance knows a lot of bars because she's a stand-up comedian, so she's been to a ton of them.
Yeah.
So that, and then
You've gotten into some old things,
yeah.
which I think is kind of cool because I mean, to me it's kind of cool. It's geeky nerdy, but we're geeky
I'm a
nerdy.
nerd.
So.
I won't deny that. With the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons coming out for its 40th anniversary,
Right.
because it's as old as the Sounders are.
It's as old as I am.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. The big 4-0.
I decided to get back into it,
Nice.
and so my gaming group right now is about a third of the staff from Sounder
No
Heart.
kidding, is it really? That's awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of it.
Good. Okay. Hugo, how
That's
about
the
you?
long version. Dang.
That's
Oh, that was fun. You had a busy weekend, man.
Yeah, well,
busy few weeks. How have you been?
Good.
Since last week.
Friday night was awesome.
Yep.
I got a chance to do the second half of the FC Tacoma match with you.
Yep.
And
Which we'll
and
go over there.
Jesse.
Yep.
Then Saturday, I got a chance to do a focus group with the Seahawks
Oh,
on
nice.
digital media.
Cool.
There was like 8 or so of us there, and pretty much just asking us if we use the Seahawks app at the game, what we like about it, what we don't like about it. Can we connect at the game? Which is no. Nobody can ever connect at Seahawks games, man. Even though they offer Wi-Fi, it's really shitty. It's horrible.
well, there's
70,000 people.
30,000 more people than
we have.
we're used to,
Right.
and that connectivity finally was decent last year, but
yeah.
prior to last year, it was
It was
horrible.
terrible.
And over the last 2-3 years, it's gotten better. Like, probably before the game starts, it's okay.
Yes.
During some timeouts, I can pose,
But do you-
I'll pretty much go black.
But let me ask you a question. You go black for the foot. Is that because you're blackout drunk or because the service isn't
It's
working?
because of the service.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
it's
checking.
usually the service.
I'm just kidding, but
I know.
How do I get vines of you cheering during the game then?
you get them afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because usually what happens is like 6 o'clock that night or 1 in the morning, somewhere between there,
Yeah,
you
they'll
get
all
like
upload.
boom, and all of a sudden you have them all.
But at the focus group, I was pretty excited that I recognized the Sounder I Heart sweatshirt sitting right across from me.
Who was?
There was a guy that was part of the focus group.
Had a
His
Sounder
name
Heart?
was Cy. He was British, and he had a Sounder at Heart.
The hoodie that we put out,
hoodie.
this is
Oh,
our
no way.
sound,
Yeah, that's a great.
this is our
Yeah.
sound.
with the
Yeah.
outline of Puget Sound and the Sounder Heart logo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really doesn't really say soccer. It's really just about
Right.
pride of place. So I know I've a buddy of mine, Jason Churchill. He's a host at 1090 The Fan.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Jason Churchill. Yeah.
Hates soccer,
Okay.
but he loves the crap out of that shirt.
Oh, that's awesome. And I recognized it as soon as he was sitting across from me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Are you wearing a Sounder at Heart sweatshirt?" And he's
That's
like,
awesome.
"Yeah."
So we have a question for you
Yeah.
from this guy named Bradsbit-2. I'm not sure who he is. Can
That's
Hugo
Dash
expand
2.
on the NDA he signed before the focus group?
Yes, tell us exactly.
There was no NDA.
Oh, that's right, because it was part of a college study. It wasn't
Yeah.
for the Seahawks.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
somebody
Right.
about the Seahawks.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, okay.
There was another question for him.
Oh, yeah. Hugo, what does the B in BLT stand for?
Bacon.
Drink.
Everybody have a sip.
Oh, God. This is not going to be like that night. Do you remember the DC night?
You
Oh, my God.
and you also had you started your cookie
Yes.
delivery service.
Oh, my
Yeah, so I just got the text from my wife, conveniently enough, because I asked her to send it to me. Lillian has sold 562 boxes. My sister sent me an email
$4
saying
a pop?
$4 a pop. My sister sent an email saying she's got about 50 pre-orders at her work because my sister called me the other day and goes, "So my work people said they don't have a cookie dealer anymore. So would you be willing to be it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So there's 50 boxes. Her goal is $1,000.
Already.
Yeah. Here's the best part about it is like when we do the site sales and stuff, right? You know, you come home with this wad of money. And when we're counting everything out, I swear to God, I feel like we are like, we're not, but it feels like you are.
Feels like you
because
do,
you're
yeah.
like, you have like this
You're
wad of
like, all
ones,
these
right?
ones.
And I'm like, here, honey, I'll give you 100 for those ones so I can use those with Hugo tomorrow night. Never goes over.
I
That joke
hated that
never
one.
goes over well.
I used to have to break up tips when I was
Oh,
retail
yeah.
coffee.
Yep.
I used
And
to do when
I
was
would
a
change.
waiter.
I would change out everybody else so they'd get like 5s and 10s.
Yep.
But I'd get like $50 in ones. and
Yep.
all the same jokes.
Yep. I know exactly. So anyway, so her goal is 1,000. We start site sales this weekend. If you guys want cookies, you know where to get them.
You got those 3 for me, right?
They're right here.
Nice.
Yep. So, okay.
Another Hugo.
Hugo question, then one more for you, and then we're going to jump into what happened last week. What is the pork product wrapped around a filet mignon called?
I believe it is bacon.
Okay. What part of the team do you like better, the offense or the defense?
The bacon.
For the soccer team, do you like the offense or the defense?
The midfield.
Okay, just checking. So, all right. So,
I like the part in the middle.
thanks for letting us have our little moment there. I'll tell you later. It's actually really a funny story, but I promised I wouldn't say anything on the air, so
Yeah.
I'm not going
yeah,
to.
we're not going to.
But so that's the end of our beginning here. We normally have a thing, and I forgot to load it. So we normally have a little. So there you go.
Okay. So you got a scarf on tonight.
We have a script on. So last week, this is FC Tacoma. FC Tacoma 253. They are a NPSL, National Premier Soccer League team, which is 4th division,
Can you
if
say
I
that
recall.
fast 3 more times?
NPSL, National Premier Soccer League.
Fast.
NPSL. NPSL. You want to say it again?
Natural.
They're at the same level as the PDL, which you might
That's
be
correct.
more familiar with
Right,
because
the PDL.
Sounders U23s are in it.
Correct. And Bremerton, right? The Kitsap Pumas are in it.
Yeah,
right?
so it's
it's the
same level, different league.
different league. I don't know. I mean, I just found out about it Friday, so I'm not an expert by any mean. But it sounds like one PDL doesn't pay, these guys pay, or I don't know, something.
They're
there. I
they're
don't know.
allowed to pay more.
They're allowed to pay more. That's what it is. Okay. So I'm learning more and more about it. But it was one of those things. So we got a call, or actually a text, a DM, but text message. I was telling, like my grandma asked, like, and I'm like, well, it's a DM, but I'm like, how do I explain what a DM is to my grandma? A text message, because she gets that. So from Shannon Matthews, who's the coach over there, and did I really say 235?
No.
No,
You
but
did.
they were giving me a hard time on Friday that I said 235. So now I'm a little self-conscious of that. So it was one of those things that we got a call, and Shannon said, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, it's Friday night. It's only a 4-day week, but I've been in Phoenix. I've had customer meetings. I've been in customer testing. I'm coming home after work, because I had a customer meeting. I'm going home. I'm taking my pants off. I'm pouring myself a big fat
pants.
bourbon, and I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. That's what I'm doing tonight. I didn't tell him this, but this is my mind. I'm like, I'm not doing a thing tonight.
Bourbon, no pants.
No pants and Grand Theft Auto. That was my night. I was like sitting there in my bed with no pants
How'd
on,
that work out?
drinking. I didn't do it. So I ended up coming down here with no pants on drinking. No, that was later.
Send
But
me a text and I get the text
Yeah.
right after work at 5, and I'm like, whoa.
yeah, so I called my wife and I said, "Hey, what are we doing tonight?" And she goes, "Nothing." I go, "Well, I got invited to go do the PA announcing at Starfire for the FC Tacoma for their US Open Cup qualifying match." And she basically paraphrased and she said, "Shut up and go." You know, I didn't barely say anything.
Shut up.
Just shut up and go. Because I'm like, I don't know, I'm a little, and I got to tell you, man, and Jesse can talk to it, he's in the audience here. I was, like, beyond nervous, excited, but nervous, right? So I texted
I
him,
can tell
you had
you're a
dinner
little
plans, you couldn't make it till half, so I said, come on down. So I get to, yeah, I know, really, exactly. For those of you who can't see that, it says, somebody offered Erin a chance to talk in front of a mic to lots of people, and surprisingly enough, he took it. Yeah, exactly. I know, big surprise.
So you're over there at Starfire doing
At Starfire.
PA work.
PA work. So the funny part is the PA didn't really work. It was, I don't know if I muted it or whatever. We were having all kinds of problems, though. I mean, the guy who set it up, nice guy, didn't really set it up right. No one ever heard us. The outward mics, the outward sound went out to the refs. Refs couldn't hear a thing at all, ever. The ones that coming back into us, you guys could hear me only because I was yelling probably more than anything.
You guys were
we
sitting
could
right
hear the speakers.
But supposedly once in a while. So someone told me they were cutting it in and out. But the bottom line is the PA was kind of halfway there because the team goes, well, why didn't you say more? And I'm like, well, I tried, but it didn't really work very well other than the core right in front of the booth. So what we decided to do, though, at 6:30 when I got there, I said, hey, do you guys mind if I stream using our SonarFeed stuff?
Going old school.
Going old school. And they're like, you can do that? And I'm like, that's why I brought it, just in case. I thought, what the hell? So I set us up. So hopefully some of you watching were watching that. And we just set it up. We had the two cameras out like this, using these two cameras here, which are just webcams. And actually, it's not a bad video. And we did that. We had the sound up, and then Jesse and I did the call basically for the first half. So I'd never met any of the people. I got the lineups handed to me right before the match, and I'm horrible with names, so it was perfect, you know, to be trying to pronounce these names. We did the whole thing.
To add to it, just to make it more interesting, the jerseys are purple, like dark
Black,
purple,
with black lettering,
and the numbers are in black.
Couldn't see anything. So, and then they tell me right before that I got to do the national anthem, like 10 minutes before. So I had to find the national anthem on YouTube. Thank God I could find that.
You sing it?
No, God, no. I did the Marine Band national anthem from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Because they asked me to, and I'm like, okay, I can't sing. So, but I plugged it into my phone. It was just like, but it was one of the things that I think this is what I'm so excited about and what I love about like when we do the show is that we just kind of free fall and we just talk.
Yeah,
and we're able to kind of go off the cuff and make things happen.
Yeah, and everything comes together, and it's pretty much something that's fun and
Right,
and
yeah.
interesting.
So bottom line is we called the game. Hugo came in at halftime. We called the whole game. I recorded it. It's up on YouTube. If you follow us, we tweeted it out. Lots of people have watched it. U.S. Open Cup put it on their article.
Right. Because that was a qualifying match for the NPSL West.
Right. So they won, 2-1, which was great.
Yep,
They beat a team from Oregon, right?
Yeah.
From Portland. Yeah.
Life is just.
Which is very just. Yeah. The Spartans FC were the name of the team.
I just heard losers.
Losers, yeah, the Portland team. So they're now going to play either San Diego or Temecula in the qualifier to go into the first round.
So want it to be Temecula, just so I can tell meet me in Temecula.
I know exactly. That's exactly right. So
That would be pretty awesome.
surprise. So for some reason, and I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if any of them are watching, but they liked us. They liked us so much they want us to come back and do it again. So we're going to come back, and I don't know if we'll be there for the Open Cup game, but they have 8 home games for the year. So right now, Hugo and I are going to, work on some things and try and come back and do some more. So, anyways, that's about all. I don't know much about him yet. I'm learning. I'm going to learn more.
Just like those players are learning.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. It really is. So I met the owner, met the coach, met all those folks, and I told them, I said, we're going to do this. I want to come back down and actually interview you and know who you are and know who the players are and talk to them, because I need to go into this. I can talk. You saw my notes. My notes aren't always big on there, but if I put 3 or 4 things on there, I know my head knows right where to go.
Yep.
And so if I can do that for this, great. I was just going by number 11 in the black lettering.
As long as they
after
win,
all.
by the way, they're going to keep wanting you back.
Well,
So
exactly.
hopefully
Hopefully they keep winning.
I know there was this one guy in Orange Kicks that I kept naming Orange Kicks with a great header.
That reminds me of when I watched the Atlanta Silverbacks against the Seattle Sounders back in 2007 when they won the title here, and a player who actually eventually went on. He actually scored an MLS Cup winning goal with the Colorado Rapids, but he was with Atlanta at the time. I can't remember his name. Messed his leg up scoring that goal when the Rapids won the title.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, but go ahead. Okay.
He had these yellow boots on, bright, like glowing yellow boots. And so every time he touched the ball, me and my buddy go, "Yellow boots! Yellow boots has the ball!"
That's pretty much me on Friday night.
It entertained the crap out of us, really. So I mean, that's what it's about sometimes.
Yeah, right. It is. So it was a lot of fun. Again, and I'll tell you what, the soccer was actually pretty decent too for these kids.
Yeah,
I mean, they were pretty good. I was surprised.
They're really driven at that,
That level,
you
yeah.
Can't. They're at a level where, generally at that NPSL, you're getting kids that didn't go to college.
Yes.
So this is their,
Make it or break it.
they want to
It's their
be there
chance.
1 year most because they know it's their only opportunity
Right.
to get a contract, maybe a 2 year.
Yeah.
They have a short window, and so they know they have to bust their ass.
Exactly. Right. So it's fun. It was a lot of fun. I want to do it again. I can't wait to do it again. Jesse, Emerald 013, he helped us out. He stepped in there and helped us out quite a bit too, which was wonderful. So we really had just a great afternoon or evening. So, and we want to do it again. So,
Where are their games normally?
well, supposedly they're going to be either at Starfire or at a high school in Tacoma. So they're leaning towards Starfire. I mean, but they don't know yet, right? Because they're new. That was like their first organized game. They've done practices and scrimmages, but that was their first ever game as well.
Okay.
So
Hey, Tacoma can play in South King County. We just saw that with the Stars.
right, exactly right. That's what we were joking
They had
about.
only been practicing together for about 4 weeks
4
prior
weeks.
to the match.
Yeah, and they played strong.
They have a deep relationship with
Italian. Yeah, the owner's Italian. And he's actually, the owner is the guy who brought Marco Di Vaio over to Montreal. Oh. So he's involved in that whole relationship.
Intrigues, yeah.
So he's worked with Florentina.
Oh, okay. Then I know who he is.
And then Bolognese. Yeah. So, anyways, real nice guy. I talked to him for 5 minutes, if that. So I can't wait to talk to him some more. But we'll see. So we'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So anyway,
proud of you guys.
Yeah, it's fun. So that all came from our S2 thing, right? I mean, which we'll talk about, I guess, shortly.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. Andrew, if you're watching, you can come on and give
Yeah,
an announcement
buddy.
if you want. But
Love it.
so anyway, so we'll talk. We're gonna add a little bit of 253 or a little bit of the 253 to the show. We already do love the 253, but I think we'll keep talking about this right now while we keep doing this because it's kind of fun. It's different for us. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Who knows where we'll go?
Climb that ladder, bro.
But that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and
Just have fun.
You know, I'm super critical. We're both critical of each
big
other,
time.
man. But it's fun, dude. It's cool. It makes you appreciate what how good of broadcasting we've had. You know, we've had it really good.
So then I felt bad because not bad, but Saturday night. let's jump to the Sounders, right?
Right.
Or segue in here. So Saturday night, those guys, those announcers, were rough.
Yeah, they were.
Sounds like
I
that
had
was
the
their
good
first
fortune
pairing.
because I watched in a bar, so I didn't have to
Okay.
to hear them.
It was
But,
the first time.
It was the first time they'd ever been together, supposedly.
well, that's fine. That's what preseason goes both ways.
It does, absolutely.
So that was that the KC crew then,
guys,
because
yeah.
I know they cleaned their broadcasters out.
Yes.
And
Okay,
brought in.
right, because that guy was the guy who was tweeting the draft, right?
Yeah, he was the one
okay.
that was live tweeting things that weren't supposed to be public.
Yeah, so I wonder why he's gone.
Well, that might have been a straw,
Right.
but they brought in a whole new staff,
Yeah.
so I can kind of understand
So
that.
I
But
made
I
some-
remember last week on the
The
Thursday
British
night
guy.
game when the golf dude called with Matt Gash.
And now they're stepping up to the ball. Yeah, that guy.
I have
That's
been
quite
the
loud.
board op
Before I
for
forget,
golf radio. and
Bacon. Just in case you guys missed it.
it's
Yeah.
very similar to that because
Yeah,
they
right.
don't want to be loud enough to disturb somebody.
Right, exactly. They want to be real quiet.
So, but you know, it is definitely preseason for
Right.
everybody.
And to be fair, we're spoiled here. When you look at Dave Niehaus, when you look at, I know exactly.
Well, heck, just look at
The gas
the
man.
worst
Calabro.
soccer announcer we have is like one of America's best basketball announcers.
Exactly.
That's the worst guy we've had. So
And he's So I Rachel, who's in Vegas but is a Kansas City supporter.
Oh, yeah?
Follows me, and so I made some snarky comment, and she goes, you know what, whatever. You guys. Oh no, you started
Yeah, I
it and then
made
tagged me
comment.
into it.
Yeah, this is
and then
all the haters.
I can't remember his name now, but some guy at Q13 who's a
Aaron
Kansas.
Levine.
No,
Troy.
the new guy, Troy. Yeah,
He's,
new guy.
AM News guy.
AM new guy, yeah. He's
Okay.
a Kansas City supporter who just moved here.
Okay.
So he followed me on Twitter last night, or on Saturday, and he started telling me the story behind him, and I'm like, oh, okay, because I wasn't being mean, but I was kind of like, it really shows you how strong that relationship has to be, and now that we're doing a little bit of that, I know I don't have the most aesthetically pleasing voice. That's for you, Lonnie.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle. That it was interesting to listen to them last night because there really wasn't chemistry, and some of that comes. And
Yeah.
but if you put the two of us together, because we've already have the chemistry, we just talk, and it doesn't matter what we talk about.
well, it can go
Or
the other
you
way
would.
too. Then because then you start talking over each other. And
Right.
if you're too familiar and too
Right.
comfortable, there can be issues as well.
It's a great point. Very good point. So,
Radio
Yeah.
play-by-play is hard.
hard. It is.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
is.
so much harder. It's actually more difficult than TV because when in doubt on TV,
Yeah.
if you're doing like a video call or a television call, it's really easy. You just stop talking because it's right there in front of a vast
They can
majority
see
of.
it.
They can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
So
say,
you don't
did you see that?
Yeah.
you don't need to use as many words.
Correct.
Subscribe.
Yep.
Where
Yes.
when you're doing a radio call or a simulcast, you have to use a lot of words.
That's a great point.
So it can get complicated.
That's a great point. So after he explained kind of the relationship, I was kind of like, all right, that's fair. I'm willing to give anybody a chance
Yeah.
if I understand the situation. I mean, I'm obviously, as you guys know, I'm a little bit snarky, a little bit
Yeah.
sarcastic, and so. But once I understand the situation, I totally get it, and that's fine. It'll take some time. So, anyways, yeah. So talk about. Is it time to panic?
Of course, dude. The sporting
We've
camp.
lost.
The Sporks said last year in June
Yeah.
that they were going to make their run.
I know.
And they
And they are
clearly
now.
did right now at the Desert Diamond Cup. They're making their run, and they're going to get that Desert
They
Diamond
are.
Cup
That's right.
trophy.
They are.
Damn, he was good, man.
Yes.
Rob Heineman, he got it right.
He did.
Yep.
He did.
We
Oh,
started to panic
but we-
in
we-
January and
We
February.
had a draw with FC Tucson. Not FC Tucson. We had a draw with who was that? Who did we play? I didn't know who we played there.
Minnesota United.
Minnesota United.
that was like a 60-minute Twitter-only thing.
But we drew, and then we lost. I mean, the season's over, right? Should we just pack it up and call it done?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Bollocks.
Oh, shoot, that was
Making my head hurt.
Here you go, Dave. I love you. Cheers, everybody, again. Cheers again, Hugo.
Cheers.
I knew this joke was coming, and it's still. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm totally joking. I mean, it is, it's a preseason game. I like the fact that he ran the 3.52 that last night. I'd rather he do it in Tucson or at Starfire than up at Clank.
Yeah.
Or down in Portland in the playoff game.
Don't test something in a game that matters.
Right.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
The first time, this is
Right.
exactly when the first time to show that should happen.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was the right thing to do. I don't like some of the personnel choices. Leo can't be that style of outside player right now.
Yeah.
Andres Correa, Aaron Kovar, or Dylan Remick could all play that role very well.
Very well.
And Leo, on the other hand,
He's a 4-4-2 guy or a 4-3-3.
he can be. He could even be the left center back of the 3-man back line.
Okay. Yeah.
But he can't be that kind of wing back hybrid midfielder anymore.
No, not anymore.
He's
No.
gonna get tired out quickly.
You know,
No.
at some point in your life, you've eaten too much bacon.
Yeah.
And you don't get forward as fast.
That guy. Nice job. Cheers. Let me. We gotta make sure she knows we gotta need another one. Okay, but
So that's one of my complaints. I think actually, if you have the 3 central midfielders, can be really intriguing there, particularly if you have an Osvaldo Alonso.
Yes.
Because then you're running basically a 6, an 8, and a 10 all at the same time.
Right.
People have always wanted that, and when fully healthy, Seattle can run that. So the main change, get the left back to be one of the young, faster guys that can be a midfielder. I'd prefer Aaron Kovar there, but
Yeah.
I always prefer Aaron Kovar.
Aaron Kovar is great in
Kovacula.
that role. I mean, he was good in the second half, I thought. And granted, I was watching off my phone because my feed with my computer was just terrible. It was my wife's computer, and it's old, and I need to get her a new computer, obviously, because it's a piece of garbage. It was like freezing up on me, and I know the feed was having problems in the beginning, but then it was freezing up after that, and so I got my phone the rest of it, which is
we did this. It was streamed and then cast up to the TVs
TV.
when I was down at Fuel for the ECS Mentality release and the re-release of ECS No Equal Blonde.
Yep, Blonde. Yep.
So I was down there for that. That was a good time because, like the only kind of soccer peeps I've seen are Sounder Heart staffers and this kind of Renton crew here from like the Berliner.
Yep.
Through most of the offseason. Now, midweek last week we were at the S2 game, both Thursday
and Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
So there's a little kind of, if you want to get your preview in for how to support.
Yep. And we'll get to S2 in a moment. But just looking at the rest of the preseason here for the Sounders, I mean, it is what it is. We're starting up again. Everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about.
The young guys down there,
Well, they have to, right? I mean, you have to see them.
And what's interesting is they're getting a longer run this year because S2, which we'll talk about again later.
Yep.
But what that means is that bubble is shallower.
Yes.
So rather than play 90 or 110 and have 3 rotations, the first team is doing basically 1 rotation and new players.
Yeah.
So those guys battling to see whether they're the 22nd man or the 18th man, they're getting a more significant run this season.
Exactly.
Which is great.
And that's where we've lacked, right? And that's why this whole idea of the USL team is huge. Yeah. So we got a Kovar. We've got we've got we got Kovar, we got
Darwin.
God. Darwin, thank you.
Darwin,
Scored,
and then Victor Mansourage just turned 18 today.
He looks
returned.
so big.
He's a man-child. Like he reminds me of when when Sean Kemp went from high school to the NBA.
Right, absolutely.
They called him a man-child.
That's a great comparison.
Because Vic looks full grown.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges for him is because he's been that big. And this is what didn't have me rate him well is when I was watching him with the academy.
Yeah.
He always had a physical advantage.
Right.
Now he's not going to have that.
You're right.
So what does he have for technical
Separate him.
skills? So we'll have to see. But you also got Andres Correa, who's 22. You have or 21. You have Roldan.
Yeah, Roldan. He's a stud, though. I mean, he is. I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
Andy Rose is still only 24, 25.
Yeah.
You know, we've got some youth out there that's on the first team roster. I was just getting ready because Sounder Heart, every year we do season predictions.
Yep.
And one of them is predicting who's going to win the Sounder Heart Awards. One of those is the Young Player of the Year, the under 23s.
That's a tough one this year.
Damian Lowe.
This year?
Jimmy Ockford. Aaron Kovar. Darwin Jones, Victor Mansoure, Christian Roldan, Andres Correa, and that's just the guys on the first team. Then you have.
Do you want another one? Or are you okay? Yeah. So 3 more. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
let's go.
That's all.
There were like, and so that's all with like the first team right now, and then you've got, of course, all the S2 guys. There's a lot of youth in this organization right now to get excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what player is poised to break out then? Do you have one?
It's Aaron Kovar for me.
Kovar's yours.
They lack a traditional winger.
Okay.
And that's what he does. He's a set piece specialist. So.
And you think it's? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But so he's a set piece specialist. But you're picking him because of the fact that he has the clearest path forward to become the next DeAndre Yedlin, so to speak.
Like Darwin and Vic won't getting that playing time against Barrett, Kenny Cooper, Lamar Nagel.
Right.
Up top when Lamar plays up top. Clint Dempsey, Obafemi Martins, Kevin Parsme. There's a lot more of. It's easier to break out in the midfield.
Yes.
Andy Rose, central midfield. He's got the opportunity. Christian Roldan is going to be learning a slightly different role.
Yeah.
Half the year last year he played in that more defensive role.
Mid. Yeah.
And then the other half he was in kind of a number 10 in a diamond.
Yeah.
And then all the year before he was either the number 10 in a diamond or a second forward.
Right.
So he's going to adapt to a more conservative role. If he can learn from Gonzalo Pineda to be
he can take over that role,
box-to-box guy, he can do that. And that's where like his value is.
Yes.
But with being only 19,
right.
I mean, you saw Okoli and Kovar last year with that first year breaking in is really hard.
It is.
It's the second year.
But it's something like if we can get him in there, Roldan, and then you got Pineda, which I know is one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But if Pineda's getting older, right? I mean, he's not a spring chicken anymore, right? So you give him some time, you let Roldan come in there and work with them, and you're right. If he can fit that role, that's a great transition there. It's amazing.
It's great,
there.
and then they've got such a variety too in those backup central midfielders. Michael Azira being basically straight up for Ozzy. Andy Rose, who has really good ball skills.
Absolutely.
Incredible in the air.
Yep.
And then is that kind of late runner like Brad Evans was when he was central.
Yep.
Those three are kind of fun. I almost wish it was last year's reserve league system in one way, just because they could try a 3-man midfield with those three on the mid at the same time.
Absolutely.
Because that would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And and I like Rose, man. He's got a knack for just coming in clutch.
Yeah. He broke my 5S. He broke my iPhone. Andy Rose.
Oh, that's right.
When he scored that goal
at
the end of the year last year, I jumped so high, my phone jumped out of my pocket and broke. So it's not really his fault, but it is his fault. And it was the best $150 I've ever spent on fixing my phone ever. Oh my God, I broke I was trading out for this like the next week.
Literally.
Like, okay, I'll just take that and apply that. Yeah.
God. Anyway, so last couple topics on Sounders FC, and then we're gonna go to Sounders 2. We have, and these are your notes. One of them.
Oh, good. So let's remember what I was talking about.
Friendly versus Tijuana.
Oh, yeah.
And then the most threatening team in the West. Because the West is stacked again, as far as we can tell.
I strongly disagree.
You do, really?
Okay,
well, there we go.
LA got a lot weaker.
Okay.
Salt Lake got a lot weaker.
Yeah.
And they did.
Portland and Vancouver both got a little better. Colorado got a lot better.
Yeah.
I think Portland
And they're healthy. They lost Zemanski, so
KC's in their division now.
Yeah, and you know what?
They beat us, so they're going to beat us in the regular season.
KC might be starting Jaleel Anibaba as their center back paired with Biesler.
I know.
Like, he's competing for that with Iko Para, who's regularly injured.
Right.
So they lost, because they lost Aurelian Collin.
Yep, Collin's gone, right? He's
And
in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he? Yeah.
So They used to have a lot of forwards on that team. Remember when they had C.J. Sapong and Teal Bunbury and Dom Dwyer up top?
Yep.
Yeah, now they have Dom Dwyer and a guy named Jacob Peterson. And a guy from Hungary, Christian Nesmith or something like that. He scored 10 goals in his 4 years in Hungary.
Well, Hungary's a tough league, though.
Yeah, in the 50s. So
you're ruining my joke.
I'm not really worried about Kansas City. Houston will be great once they get Cubo Torres there.
Right, yeah.
But that could be as late as July.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Now, they're negotiating to get him early because they actually don't play him at Chivas de Guadalajara. But
don't get me started.
Yeah.
Sad.
They're going to get relegated, and it's going to be funny.
Shut up, man.
They're going to get relegated, and then you know what they're going to do? They're just going to buy another team and call them Chivas Guadalajara.
No.
Because that's what they do.
The Federation is not going to do it because of the money involved. It's bad business.
No. The last 2 years of the 6 teams that were sent down over the last 2 years, 5 of them just bought new teams. Five of them bought the teams that were getting promoted and rebranded them as the traditional team. Pro Rel, man, it works clearly.
That might be actually the strategy.
So I could see Chivas doing that. Now,
and they have the money for it, I guess.
Otherwise, they'll finish 1 point. Like, if they're within a point of the non-relegation team, I could see the non-relegation team getting docked like some kind of administrative fee, failure to pay their players or
so
something
they have
like that. So they get the negative penalty and go down.
But I'm still going to root for them.
Oh, you can root for them all you want.
I'm still going to love my team.
That's fine. So,
but like we've talked about this a little bit. You know, the opportunity for Tijuana to come up here for the friendly that got announced last week.
Yeah.
You and I know really well there are plenty of Hispanics in this region who still don't even know that the Sounders are playing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And if they're Tijuana fans, they're going to that game.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
And as we talked last time I was on the air with you, that means their second team might be the Sounders. You know who their kids' first team is going to be?
The Sounders.
If they grow up here and go to the Sounders games, they're going to be Sounders.
No question. It's the way it is for me and the way it is for my niece, Penny.
Yeah.
You know, she's first. I mean, she's the next generation of my brother.
So getting those Liga MX teams is going to be great. They're charging us standard pricing for it.
Yeah.
Great.
It's part of our season ticket, right?
It's
really
during a bye week.
Team right now, so it's early in the year.
It's a Tuesday, which is kind of not great. That's the only negative grade. I mean, only non-great.
Yeah,
it's one comment.
That's if there's going to be a friendly, the only negative to this one is it's midweek.
It's midweek. That's it. That's the only negative.
And I'm the guy who started Trophies Not Friendlies. It hurts me to say good things about friendlies, but
this one, this is different though.
And last year was really good because it was the only one. It was a premier level. It was a quality side.
Yes.
And they didn't increase the price.
Right.
Now 2 years ago, we paid like triple for the friendly.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of glad that they've made this change. I like for our CCL chances. It's great.
Yep.
That'll help.
Thank you. We're just refilling our glasses.
So it's really exciting, to me, to be able to see these others. Plus, Tijuana has like 8 Americans on the team. 2 of them are French national team guys. Several of them are youth national team guys. So we'll be able to see that. That's exciting.
See, and for me, it's
my.
Go ahead.
I have to say this because you'll drool over it. My only regret is they don't have our man Herc.
Oh, I know,
man. Me too.
Because I'd love to see him score a hat trick against us again.
I know. I agree. So, for me, this is great. I think other than the fact that it's a Tuesday night and it's going to hurt the chances of my kids coming, right? Because I like bringing my kids to these games. Because I mean, people. Listen, I'm also a trophies not friendlies guy, but I like. Yeah, I know Emerald's comment. It's interfering with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, thank God there's TiVos. But I like bringing my kids to this for the exact same reason you're talking about of other generations. But I want them to see other areas. Because when I've gone to Brazil, or I've gone to Germany, or I've gone to England, actually not England, sorry, Singapore, whatever, I find a local team and or a regional team and support them then after the fact, right? Mm-hmm. When I went to Italy, I went to San Siro and got to watch a game. So I saw Inter Milan play Juventus, which was one of the most amazing, just like ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it makes our games almost look calm.
Well,
right?
particularly
Obviously.
with there, but
yeah. So
it's great.
I want my kids to experience some of that. I want them to see different countries and different. I mean, I know it's here, but
still, it's experiencing different culture. I remember Monterey and Santos Laguna here for the Champions League.
Yeah,
it was great to see that passion in the stands for competitive matches. Yeah. So I can't wait till the knockout rounds next year when we're going to face on the Mexican side of the Champions League again.
I think one of the things the Sounders did, probably one of the best moves they made, was including the CCL tickets in our package.
I've been arguing that forever.
Like in a positive.
You
agree with what I just said?
Yeah, I was on the Alliance Council before you were. We never crossed paths there.
No.
That's how long ago I was on the Alliance Council.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I said when they asked me about that, I'm like, these games matter, right? And they're like, yeah. And I go, so why'd you sacrifice home field advantage by not having everybody there?
Right. So there's 30,000 people or whatever, how many are going to this game.
If the crowd noise makes an advantage, then we need to be there.
Right.
This year, we're going to be there. Right. There's going to be 30,000 people.
I hope they do it again next year, because next year is more important than this year.
Yep.
This is just the group stages.
And it'll be easier to sell, because this is going to be like W Connection and like the Whitecaps.
Right.
Because they could face the Whitecaps.
They could, right. So
that would be actually a good sale.
All right, so
excited about that. And then,
Me too.
We're going to have Champions League, Tijuana's, and it's just going to be great to see that crowd. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll get the draw in May, June. Last week of May, first week of June, usually.
June.
Historically.
1 week
was
June.
Well, 1 year was late May. I swear I saw it. Maybe
it won't be early May because Mexico's
May.
Not done playing.
Right. So late May, so call it June. In June, we'll know who we're facing, and we'll face them in August.
September, and early October.
Yeah. So 3 games. Is it? No.
It's only going to be 4 games.
4 games.
Three teams.
3 teams.
So 2 opponents.
4. Yeah. Right.
Home and away.
Yep. So
it'll be easy.
And if we win, then next year at this time, because in fact tomorrow night, it's Montreal and DC.
DC both
playing tomorrow night. Which they're going to get their ass kicked, unfortunately. But I hope they don't. I mean, this is the one time of the year I root for MLS.
Major Soccer League's big, dude. I love me the Major Soccer League.
Major Living Crease Soccer. Yeah. Anyways, Jesus, I can't talk. All right, cheers.
So we talked Tijuana.
Bacon.
There you go.
So, thank you, Galazzo and Sparkle Donkey, for not sponsoring us yet. We will gladly take it. So that's the one thing I meant to talk about. So I saw Alton Brown last night in Yakima. Alton Brown is by far one of the best shows I've seen. Well, okay, Nine Inch Nails Soundgarden, which is way up here, but from a different world. This was amazing. I mean, it was amazing. He was here on Saturday night. He was here Saturday. He's in Portland tomorrow night.
And then Yakima.
He's in Portland tomorrow.
I love that he did Yakima.
Yeah, me too. It was at the Capitol Theater, nice little downtown theater down there in Yakima.
So I love you, Kyle.
He.
Oh yeah.
He talked about he was wearing his Adidas, and he goes, "We're not sponsored by Adidas, but they want to send me shoes, they will." So Sparkle Donkey and Galazzo, go ahead, you can send me anything you want.
Please send us. We'll have the cases right behind the cameras here for you.
We'll gladly do it for you. But actually, we drink it because we actually enjoy it, not for. We'll take the sponsorship, but we actually enjoy it too. So.
I just ordered my first case at work.
Do you? Yeah, that's good. So, so let's go over to the S2.
Excellent.
Right? You guys ready for S2? Let's finish up. We got about 15 minutes left on the show, and then we're gonna do a quick break and then post game.
15 minutes already?
Yeah, we're approaching an hour. So let's talk S2 a little bit. So we talked about Sounders, and we got the season coming up, we got CCL coming up, we got all that great stuff. But the other exciting thing, and you were there Thursday night in the what I'll call overcast and cool.
First half was overcast and cool.
Turning into, oh my God, pouring down. Not pouring, but like just the skies opened up and the rain
anybody
started
trying
falling.
to tweet had to
You couldn't see your phone because the dots were so big.
So,
but cold and wet and rainy, and then Saturday we were there too.
Beautiful.
And it was like in the shade, it was cold. In the sun, it was like 50-something, beautiful, gorgeous. Awesome
they've had those 2 scrimmages against the U18s on Thursday. That's the Sounders U18 team. And then University of Portland on Saturday. Tomorrow night, if you're up in Seattle, if you're around Montlake or the North Seattle area, go to Husky Soccer Stadium at 7. No fee. And you can watch the you can watch Sounders 2 versus the Huskies, which are basically like another Sounders junior squad because there are like 6 Sounders on that team, and several of them have pro futures ahead of them.
Absolutely.
And probably next year, like 3 of them next year with us too.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be great.
We're going.
Yeah,
I know I'm going.
I'm going.
Yeah, I'm at 99.999% going.
He's gonna take care of that.
The only way I don't go is if the world blows up tomorrow. I mean, my world.
Or you have a
not
sale
the real world. Exactly. That's the only, if my world blows up, but it
You
should.
got that contract.
I've really laid everything out so I can
So
go.
it's great. And then next Saturday at Starfire, and I don't remember the time.
I don't know either.
They're going to go against the Zags, which will be great. Unfortunately, the Sounder on Gonzaga isn't going to be playing that one.
Oh, no, he's not?
Yeah, Calamar said no. It was supposed to be his first game back from injury.
Okay.
But the Sounders too are some great action. They're going to be at Starfire. They've sold about 1,800 seats, I've heard.
Okay.
Which is good for Starfire. That's pre-sold. Then you get walk-ups because it's a cheap, easy thing to do.
Yep. It cost me what, $96, and that was an early discount.
Yeah.
For my or 94 or whatever for my season tickets. I get all the games and the Open Cup games included in that price.
And when they make the playoffs, you'll get those as well.
Included. I mean, what a deal! I mean, so that's 14 home games guaranteed.
Yep.
Plus Open Cup plus
could be 3 or 4 more as well. Yeah,
right, could be 16 to 20 maybe.
Yeah. So a blast there.
$5 a ticket, $7 a ticket, and then walk up I think is $10.
Yeah, walk ups just went on sale.
Whatever. Okay, they did.
Today.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think I read that tweet correctly from
wait a
Sean
minute.
Wheeler.
I totally failed.
Oh, dude.
He's changing scarves. No, we're
Here,
S2,
I'm gonna go.
Wrong scarf.
I know. This is my Sounders scarf, though. I'm going to go back to my Sounders.
Oh, that's Sounder Hearts 2012 scarf.
Yeah, this is my old one. I'll wear this for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So the great
I brought
thing...
changes of things. Go ahead.
You
Keep
forgot
talking.
to change his clothes. So when we're talking S2, we're going to talk about an interesting mix. You're going to have 4 to 6 players that are going to be coming down from the first team to get minutes.
Yep.
You're going to have 3 to 5 players coming up from the U18s to get time playing up, which is going to be huge for them.
Yep.
And then of the guys making the roster, those trialists that are there right now, it looks to be that about half of them have Sounders ties as former players, trialists, or former academy players, and another half are total originals going for their first thing. Yeah. So it's been great. There's guys, Duncan McCormick. I'm going to call him IPH because I can't pronounce his name. Isidro Prada Huerta.
He was the.
If I do it slow, I can do it right.
He was the final. He was the Federal Cup champion of the first year of SonarFeed.
First year SonarFeed.
Yep.
Chase Hansen.
Yep. Chase
who,
Hansen.
I personally undervalued for a long time. Sorry about that, Chase.
Yep.
Went to Seattle U, coached by Pete Fewing. Was in the that same academy class with Troy Peterson, Shauna Coley, DeAndre Yedlin, that class. That oldest class, Darwin Jones as well. Jamal Cox, who was the... here's some trivia for you. Jamal Cox was the first ever Sounders Academy player to sign a pro contract.
I did not know that, actually.
Really?
There you go.
He signed with the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the NASL.
Yep.
And now you know. You're on SonarFeed.
And I'll bet that he makes that squad. He's the son of Raphael Cox, who played for a couple MLS teams and several NASL teams as well. Brother of. I said son, didn't I?
Yeah, you've been brother of.
They're brothers.
But can we talk about the mystery? The
269?
Yes. You took my thunder. I was going to make a 5-minute speech about 269. You just stole right up from under me. Anyways, go ahead.
I have no idea who it is.
I do. I know who he is.
Thanks
Anybody?
to Kyle and Lonnie. Actually, probably Lonnie.
He's got the number 269 on his back. Oh, I never posted the picture, damn it. I forgot to post the picture.
Oh, you got a picture from those earliest nights.
No, not really. I don't think it's him. But I took a picture of one of the guys that got his back, I was going to write 269 and post it, and I realized I forgot to post it.
But
I ruined my own joke. Look at that. That's awesome.
Fail.
What we do know is he's not somebody who's been a trialist with the Sounders
team.
before.
Right.
So that means not John Arroyo.
Yep.
Not Aaron Long.
Right.
Not Jonathan Prieto. Not who else do we? I mean, we got a lot of these names. Yeah. They might not even be there tomorrow, but and we know that he's not one of the U.S. Youth National Team players that have come in. Sam Garza, former U.S. Youth National Team player, and Zach Barnes, a former U.S. National Team player. Obviously, he's not a keeper either because he scored 3 goals. So
Right. But
we know who he's not.
We know he's not.
Right.
We don't know who he is.
This is my favorite The Trialist moment since Mauro Rosales.
I agree. That's what's so cool about this. And I almost named the show. I almost changed the name of the show to 269, just because I thought it was. Oh, actually, it's Michigan. The Michigan area code. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's Southwest, right?
Yeah.
Southwest Michigan.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Somebody made
fine.
that.
I grew up in Michigan.
Another Michigander who reads Sounder at Heart
Made that joke. Okay, or
posted
made that
the
comment.
area code thing.
So,
Grand Rapids area?
yeah, down there, yeah. So, but like, I want to just say, like, Colin, Chambers ECS, Kyle Gervin O.
Gervano.
Actually, Gervon 0. Sean Wheeler.
Zago 8.
Zago 8, and I spelled Sean wrong. That's horrible. You guys don't see that. I
There
don't
are
know
like
why I admitted
75
it.
ways to
I know,
spell
but
Sean.
I know how to spell it, and I spelled it wrong.
If you wanted to spell Sean right, he'd change his name to Not Sean.
Not Sean. Not Sean. That's his new name, Not Sean. And then you and the folks at Sounder Heart, it's been fun to read that and see those articles, because that is one of the things that we've loved on the show for many years. It's kind of the unknown factors, the kids, the people who don't. We know Olba, we know Clint, we know whatever, we know the big guys, but to learn about the kids, the youth, the guys who we may never ever see, but they're fun to watch.
Half the guys we've named probably aren't there tomorrow.
No, they're not. Probably not.
But it's still, I understand the fun and the joy of it.
Yeah,
and
it's fun.
As long as you're having fun with it, have fun with it.
Yeah.
But man, it can be a time suck.
Oh, for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because when we're figuring them out, we're like, well, where's this guy going? Like,
Yeah.
what position? Where did he
Yeah.
play?
Yeah.
And like, you look at Pablo Rossi,
Yeah.
who
Oh my God,
Jeremiah,
that free kick.
he has 2 goals in
Sexy,
these
man.
scrimmages.
That was sexy.
Both of them are direct off of free kicks. The first one from the Thursday night game, Andy Craven barely missed a glancing header.
Yes.
And the keeper
Yes.
thought it was going wide,
And
so he didn't even make a play because he had to recognize that Craven was making that run. Craven missed it.
Yep.
The keeper didn't make a play, and it was about 3 inches off the sidebar,
Yep.
and it went in. And
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous.
And
that
then
was
the
a
one
far-
that Levy
yeah.
Films caught
Yeah.
from the Saturday game, equally beautiful. And
Unbelievable.
so what he's doing, and here's the interesting thing: he's in his low 20s,
Yeah.
and he has like 2 times in the 18 for his 3rd division Argentine club.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
But he's going to come here,
Yeah.
wear a Sounders shirt, make a name for himself as a professional right here in
Argentinian, right?
Tukwila. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome, man. I'm so
I
excited.
love it.
That's too. So many storylines, so much going on, dude. It's fucking awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
So can we talk about the other thing about S2 real quick? The most important thing about S2?
The biggest.
The biggest,
Oh,
the most
Is
important
that
thing
my,
about S2?
my buddies here are our potential play-by-play and color commentators?
Oh.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. So we already talked about our FC Tacoma work and all that, and that came as a direct result of the fact that we, did this.
Yeah.
I mean, that showed interest in it, etc. But we do the show, and we're not afraid to talk. Me more so maybe than you, as I get into this environment. But that was, we talked about it a little bit last week, but that was fun. And supposedly we'll know soon, like in the next, we'll know in the next month, right? Because the first match is a month from today, right? The 23rd, isn't it? The first match?
Yep.
21st? Okay, so less than a month.
Check your schedules at soundersfc.com/S2, I think. I don't know. Or you can search at sounderatheart.com, and we have it as well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
What was that website again? Sounderatheart.com.
Sounderheart.com. But
We have
the
a
way-
master schedule for all your pro soccer
They
needs,
do.
by the
I
way.
saw the hybrid one with.
Yeah.
It has the
S2,
Rain, S2,
the Rain,
and Sounders.
Yeah, it looks good. And that was Susie who does all your infographics?
Yeah, Susie Rance does all of our kind of
Yeah.
infographic
Slow
stuff.
clap, Susie.
Because those graphics she does.
She's one of the nerds, by the way, that does the
Is
D&D
she?
with us.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome. But
I
joking
just
about us.
sold her out. I don't know if she knew that
Yeah,
was public.
sorry. But
Oh, well.
joking about us, about the S2 voice. I mean, yes, we want it. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
But the reality is, what S2 has done so far, from Andrew, from the Trust, and I'm not doing this as a suck up move. I promise you guys know me well enough. You know when I'm sucking up and you know when I'm not. This is not a suck up, but this is just the truth. That the way they've done these things so far, between the seat back names, the ability for us they've engaged ECS, and then the ECS thing, now they have the Gorilla agreement. So they have all these different things. They've done, I think, an amazing job.
There are
So-
two I mean, everything that they've done is about their two pillars.
Right.
And the first one is player development.
Yep.
So there's a chance that they might have 1 to 3 players who are over the age of like 23.
Yep.
That are there to basically show people how to be professionals.
Yeah, right.
But the most part, you're going to get a bunch of youngsters out there grinding hard every day.
Every game.
It's about development.
Yeah.
Ezra knows what that is.
Ezra's excited. You can
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
he
He
is
has got
pumped.
a tough
You were there
job.
when I asked him, hey, what's it like not having Siggy around?
No, I
me?"
wasn't there.
Okay.
I'd left. I had to leave.
I talked to Ezra a little bit, and I'm like, what's it like? You don't have Siggy around, and
Yeah.
this is the first time, he goes, first time in 15 years
Yeah.
Wow.
that Siggy Schmidt
Yeah.
isn't right by his side.
I was drooling reading that article. I was just like, oh my God. It just,
So this is his opportunity. He's laid the foundation from to quote Ezra, one of the smartest soccer minds in North America.
Yep.
The foundation's laid.
Yeah.
He's either played for or coached with Siggy Schmidt for 15 years
Right.
now, between the LA Galaxy, the Columbus Crew, and the Seattle Sounders. So this is his chance. It's just so you've got the youngsters and everything. They might have some veterans. The other pillar is pretty clear. It's fan involvement,
Yeah.
community involvement.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
It's going from partial ownership of the club.
Yes.
It's the Guerrilla FC arrangement.
Yep.
It's arrangements that they're making. I know they're talking to places like Fuel to do a party bus into the games.
Yep.
That got hinted at. That might be finalized this week.
Okay. I know they were talking about other places too, which I need to
They're-
find out from Andrew where we are on that, because that's something that down here too.
I
Even though we're
remember-
close.
Dude, remember when we used
I
to
know.
take the bus to
I
first
know,
team games?
right? But we're close. But still, parking at Starfire, which we found out Saturday. Oh my God, that was terrible.
And that was
Saturday.
just for a youth soccer game and not pros. That was
Right.
like the state semifinals
right.
of
I
youth
parked
club soccer.
I parked in Northgate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a match. I'm joking, but I literally parked at the end of the
I
gravel.
didn't even know they had
I didn't
that.
either. I didn't know the gravel went around that.
We'll have a guide too for what to do on how to get there.
Okay,
there,
good.
there is a bus for your weekend day games
Okay.
that'll run from
Okay.
Basically the tunnel right
Well,
down in
I'm
urban.
hoping it won't be a problem for me, because I'll be going in about 3 hours early
Yeah.
to get prepped up. And
Our
stuff.
South King
But-
County peeps, we're gonna give you some advice on
Yeah.
stuff to do. Like
Yep.
honestly, go to South Center.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a walk, but I know the Guerrilla FC people do that for Open
2-5
Cup games.
and so does 253, the Defiance guys. They do
Yeah.
that. They have a tailgate over that way, and then they walk over. It's about a mile,
Yeah.
mile and a half walk, but
But there's some things you can do about that.
Yeah.
There's some stuff up interurban, like the.
and we're going to talk about S2 a lot.
Yeah.
Regardless
Yeah,
of
you're
the
gonna hear
voice,
about-
if we don't get the voice, big mistake.
Yes.
We will still talk about them a lot, because that's one of the things.
Chaz
we like to
brings
do.
up that's KC Metro 150 to Starfire.
There we go.
The 150.
There we go. King County Metro.
Uh,
Hey, Chaz.
Thanks, Chaz.
Charles, longtime listener,
Charles Lyman.
our first time guest. He was our first guest.
Really?
Episode 4.
And there's
Episode
stuff to do if you're
4?
coming
Yeah.
from the South Sound
Chaz,
too.
it's an honor, man.
Yeah.
Coming
Right.
up.
You've been here more than I've been here, man.
So, all right, here we are. We're at 8:30. What we're going to do is we're going to go for like a minute and a half, and then we're going to take a quick break and come back and ask questions. We have some questions in
ask
the
some
group.
Questions. We have
We can ask some people here too.
Here in attendance, man.
But we've got a couple questions. El Conductor, who streamed for Chattanooga in the MPSL.
Okay.
Just talked about the streaming. We've got a question from Michael Smart about the player holdout, which I think is good to talk about because it's coming up.
Yeah.
And then, a couple other comments here and questions here. So we'll come back to that. Folks, thank you for joining us on the regular part of the show. As we normally will do, we'll go Wonka out. For those of you that are just joining us, what it means is we're going to play this quick little Willy Wonka thing.
As a reminder, if you listen to the regular part of the show, that's the part that's going to be podcast.
Yes.
The pre-show and the late
actually-
show are for live listeners.
Well, actually,
Somebody
we've
remembers
started
to hit
doing.
record.
I did this time. We actually last week, because we didn't go post game, not safe for work. We went post game continuation.
Okay.
Because we found the software and Ustream craps out at about an hour. Everything goes from good stream to oh my god in like 10 seconds.
Perfect.
So we'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. 2 minutes and 22 seconds to be exact. 2 and 2, as Chuck Woolery used to say. So thank you all very much for watching this part of it. We'll be back very shortly.
When does he get it?
He doesn't,
Why not?
because he broke the rules.
What rules? We didn't see any rules, did we, Charlie?
Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong,
sir. Wrong, sir. Wrong.
You lose. A contract signed by him. You get washed. You get sterilized. You get nothing. Good day. You lose.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
I said
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
you get
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
I said
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
you lose. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black clear as crystal. You lose. Good day. Good day. Nothing. You get 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 nothing. You get nothing. You get nothing. Clear as crystal. You lose. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black clear as crystal. You lose. Fax mentis incendium gloria culpa memo bis punitor della contemporary etc.
You're a swindler. Wrong, sir. Wrong. You're a cheat. Wrong, sir. Wrong. You're a swindler. Wrong, sir. Wrong. And you're a nuts.
Good day, good day, nothing. You get 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 37 deep if I follow static copy. 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 You stole nothing. You what? You stole nothing. You what? You stole nothing. You what? Chocolate. You lose. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there. Black and white. Black and white. All there.
Mr. Luca?
I said.
Mr. Walker.
I said.
Mr. Luca?
I said. I said. I said.
Mr. Luca? Mr. Luca?
I said. I said.
Mr. Luca?
I said. I said. I said. Good day.
All right, we're back on the live
Got a
post
lot
game.
of CBA questions.
I am going to record this because I think there's some interesting stuff that
Okay,
could
cool.
happen to this. So normally, well, don't worry, I'll let you know. But sometimes we go not safe for work on the after show. Today we're going to kind of go safe for work because there's enough interesting stuff to talk
That
about.
and they're also much. Whenever I've been on, they're a lot safer for work. They like to
Yeah.
pretend that I'm professional.
Well, I feel like you
Adult
are, man.
supervision.
We're gonna get, like as much out of you as possible, man. You know.
Well, because you bring a good element to the show. So
Yeah.
here are a couple comments we have here, right? So we've got Julie Buckingham, who is the better Fody, right? Or I call her better Fody.
I call her best Fody.
Best Fody. Well, right now, best Fody. Fair enough. She says, I like when better than, when Dave's on the show. And then Heather, who my daughter and her, Sydney and her, they've been walking out a couple times. Great people. They're really good. They're good folks. I'm glad they're in our family now, in our relationships here. She says, me too, a whole lot of soccer genius happening. I assume the soccer genius is from that side, not from this side. But I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But I think it comes from that side. So,
The odds are in favor.
well, I think so too. But I'm just, I'm clarifying. I'm just,
More people can praise me. I don't accept it very easily, but I enjoy it.
Well, no one ever praises me. I mean, everyone just tells me I'm
Tired of you, man.
unaesthetically pleasing. I'm sure Lickett has like this, so he can't see me. That's fine. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Like it has something that's tracking your face and overlaying
I did, yeah.
dinosaurs or something.
So let's talk about CBA, right?
Yeah.
Let's start there. So Michael Smart had a comment, he goes, "What did you guys think of the chances of the player holdout? Should we be concerned about the season opener?"
All right. This is going to be interesting, but like looking at kind of the math and the reserves, it's a really young union. It's only been around for about 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
And it doesn't have a lot of players in it, and it doesn't have a lot of moneyed players in it as well. So an agent actually put out their public disclosure because they are a not-for-profit, as most unions are.
Yep.
Being in a for-profit union would be really weird, but I'm certain there's at least one in the world.
I'm sure there is.
So they have between $5 and $6 million in their reserves,
Yes, I saw it
but
today.
they've got about 450 to 500 players who make less than $200,000 a year,
Right.
and it,
Yes, I was
basically
doing
where
that
you're
math.
living a normal life.
Right. Yes. Right.
And if you're one of those players living a normal life, they got about $8 to $10,000 available to them, and that's if they empty the reserve entirely.
Right. I was doing that math
So-
driving down to you today because I saw that right before I left the house.
Here's the thing. Most of us don't make a lot of money.
Nope.
Even these like lowest developmental players, they're making 36 grand. They're playing soccer. They have health care and all about it.
Yeah.
Is that
Some of them,
players?
and no, like Aaron Long before last year, Aaron Long was making 36, but he also had a little bit of a housing bonus. He had health care. He had like 8 to 12 meals a week that he got. So you can live off at 36. I know because it's livable, but when you make 36 grand a year, you know what you don't have? A savings account.
Right.
So when you make 36 grand a year and you go on strike and you just said, you know what I don't have anymore? I don't have health care. I don't have my housing allowance. I don't have my free 8 to 12 meals a week. And I've got to live off of whatever my union check is for however long.
Yep.
So if there is a strike, we're going to be there in April because the players will have to give up by then.
Right.
The owners know this math as well. So you know what they're not doing?
Not rushing.
No.
They're not going to pressure the players.
God, no.
They're like, everybody, basically, so everything's going to happen Thursday before opening weekend.
Like it did in 2010.
Yeah.
The same thing.
There's a huge national TV game on Friday. On that Friday before, the Friday the 6th.
Right.
It's on Univision. You might think that's not a huge game, but you know what? Unless the game was on NBC last year, Univision had the top ratings.
Right.
They always do,
Yep.
man.
So,
Yeah.
Univision pays a little less, but
Yeah.
they get higher ratings.
High ratings. Yeah.
MLS isn't going to give that up, and the players don't have the money to strike long. So they can threaten a strike. They might even early strike.
Yeah. Right.
After the Champions League games
Yes.
this week.
After this week. Yep. They're gonna play
Say,
those
you know
games.
what? We're not compromising. We're out.
Yeah.
And you know what? Eventually they'll come back, and they'll come back before the first game.
Right. And I think we need to. I mean,
Being poor sucks.
it does.
Yeah, it does.
That's what we're basically talking about. We're talking about 30 to 40% of this league
Yeah.
has a 5-figure income.
Right.
You don't have a savings account if you have a 5-figure income, particularly when you lose your health care
Yeah.
and you lose your food benefits.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you don't have a big cushion.
Absolutely.
I know they had a cushion last year. They had a cushion last time, 5
time.
years ago.
Yeah.
They still have that same cushion, but it's not a big one.
No.
And it's basically
$5 million. If you hear that number, you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money.
But there's
Until you realize how many
500
people. Right.
There are 550 players, and about 500 of them
Yeah.
need help.
Need help. Right.
Like, yeah, Clint Dempsey doesn't need help.
No.
Oh, but no, you know, you go down the list, but
There's only 2 per team.
it's a
Or
third
maybe
of the
4.
players that
Yeah.
need it. You know, Brad Evans makes about, what was it, 250, 280 or something
yeah,
like
whatever,
that?
yeah.
Brad can probably do it.
Yeah.
Fine.
But still, $200,000 or $300,000 is not not. I mean, it's a good salary. But from a professional athlete standpoint, it's
Fine.
It's less than what the NFL
you know what
is making as the minimums.
Yeah, you know what though? The NFL made $12 billion
Well, okay,
last
I
year.
agree. I understand that. I'm not trying to drag that direct correlation in here. I'm just saying
They're making
that.
they're making what AAA baseball players make, except for a couple players on each roster.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Minor league baseball players never go on strike. You know why?
No.
They can't afford it.
Right.
And everybody knows this. They're going to threaten. And if they do, it's going to be short.
Yeah.
There's going to be a compromise position.
Yeah.
How that gets worked out is going to be complicated.
Yeah, and I hope that we get.
Roster.
I hope we come to some agreement here that advances the players' wishes a step further, but yet also brings the ownership one step closer too. So we have this. I mean, it's what we always want in any kind of disagreement, right? The owners want this, the players want this, and there's a way, and we can't get here. They want to get to here. They're never going to get to here. I
And
mean, that's not a perfect world. Oh, that'd be great.
The
Just-
hardest thing is free agency.
Right.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
salary is a math problem.
Right.
Eventually, you can solve a math problem.
Always. You can always solve
Free
it.
agency is a conceptual issue.
Correct.
That might have legal implications.
Right. Because of the fact that we're in the single entity.
The single entity
Eventually,
that
but
they want to.
haven't free agency core battles always gone the players' way?
No. I won't say always. I wouldn't say always.
They're going to make a move towards free agency
Yes, this year.
this year.
Yes.
How significant that move is going to be, and probably what the compromise is some kind of guarantee to not sue.
Kinda like the Larry Bird
And the
thing.
other thing is, last time our agreement was 5 years,
Yeah.
it might be 8 years now.
Right. Which is,
They might have to lock themselves into a
Longer.
crappy version of free agency.
Yeah. But it's a step. Is it a step in the right direction at the end of the day? And will they accept it?
It'd be really awesome to be able to choose where you get to play.
I think it would be huge.
Philosophically, I agree with that more than anything else the players are asking for.
100% agreed. 100% agreed.
And I still understand why the owners are going to say no as long as they possibly can.
Yep.
So,
but we talked about this, I think, the last time you were on, actually. We talked about the whole idea of the, and why am I forgetting his name? The NBA rule.
the bird rule.
The bird rule.
The bird exception.
The bird exception.
In order to keep a
At
player.
that concept.
It's
different
slightly
concepts.
related, but it's basically a way to avoid salary cap implications for
Right.
1 or 2 players on your roster.
Yes. So it's not a
They
free
could do
agent
things
thing,
like
but
that.
it's a kind of a...
It's somewhat related.
Yeah.
There's a plan. American Soccer Now had a plan that was out there that basically mimicked the University of California system, where those schools can't bid against each other for the professors.
Right.
A professor could get an 8% raise by going to another school. The school that he was at then gets the option to match
it. Yeah.
If it's a school from out, the school that he's at can go up to 20%.
Yep.
But essentially, the schools within the University of California and the Cal State system can't bid against each other because they're unified systems.
Yes.
That's a way to have a semblance of free agency within a single entity system.
That you can move within this network
And you can choose.
and choose, but they have the right. Yeah.
There's other ways to do it. Aaron Campo, I'm going to beg him to write about this. He's the co-host of Nos Audios,
Yep.
the podcast affiliated with us.
The real with us. You mean with Sound or Heart?
With Sounder at Heart, sorry.
Yeah. But the
he's
real
got-
podcast.
He's got an idea that would
love to have you
involve
guys on here.
blind bidding,
Yeah. Well, okay.
where
Do you
you're
trust?
still
do you
in a
trust
salary.
MLS to do a blind bid?
They already do them all the time.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Do you trust them
But
to do that?
the players would have some kind of arrangement where if teams met a certain financial limit, and the player met, they would get to choose, I want there.
Okay.
And they'd know that each of the teams that were involved met his minimum.
Okay.
That minimum, some of them might have exceeded it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know until he says, I'm going there.
Yeah. Okay.
All 3 of them could be at the minimum. Brasbit pointed out, we looked at Chicago and Seattle. Like
Yeah.
6 players in Chicago made more than $200,000, and I think it was 5 or 6 in Seattle because a couple guys retired. That's of about 30. So about 20% of your rosters are guys that can afford to take an
Right.
extended
So
strike.
the other 80% can't.
80% can't
Now-
do an extended
And
strike.
what is that called?
The blind.
There's a
bid.
blind bid type of system.
So then
Related.
Related. Where are you at?
We're both scrolling down.
But here's a commentary. Here's one. Is S2 bound by the same CBA as S1? And the answer is no.
No, they're not.
They're completely separate.
That's an
entities.
MLS players union. What it means is MLS players couldn't be loaned down to S2,
Right.
which is going to be 20 to 30% of the roster eventually.
Right. Which
But-
might mean that some of the fringe players might have better opportunity.
They're going to play more
If-
for a couple of weeks
Right.
if there is
Correct.
they're going to train more for
Train
a couple
more.
of weeks because
Right.
again, I don't expect the strike to last until the USL season starts.
Correct.
Because that's 3 weeks after the regular season.
Right. 2 weeks after.
2 weeks after the
Yeah.
MLS season. Now, so yeah, the NASL and USL players are not part of the union. It is specifically an MLS players union. It is not like the AFL-CIO or another kind of blanket
Yes.
union that kind of buckets all people within a
The
profession.
group of, yeah, right.
It
Yes.
only deals with MLS
MLS.
and those players.
Correct. Yeah, so the USL will go on.
USL will go on.
So if we end up with some weird
Let's say it lasts
issue,
forever.
Right, then S2's playing and you can watch S2.
S2's playing, the NASL's playing,
It
the
will
Open
become
Cup
the hardest,
will still go on.
It'll become the hardest ticket to get in Seattle if S1 doesn't play. So S2 will play at Starfire. But here,
they've
Yeah,
they've
they're there.
arranged those contracts already.
So, T. Peter 100, hey Hundy, one of our original viewers of the show. He has a question. He goes, "I'm late. What is the significance of new beginnings?" Every week I put a funny commentary or whatever, and so on the screen I have new beginnings. The idea of the new beginnings, Peter, was that. Hugo and I did our new beginning on Friday night. We started our official announcing careers, if you will. We have S2 starting. We have the season starting. So New Beginnings is really about the new year. It's 2015. That's all. There's no other significance other than that. We have some cool new opportunities. The teams are going S2. That's what it means. That's all it is.
Yeah,
and it's just, it's so exciting. So, again, Alton Brown last night, going back to him for a moment, he has things he can't say on the show, or things he can't do on his show. He does all of his cooking shows. So he takes a Post-it note, and he puts it on the wall of things he can't talk about. And that's what is basically the idea of the show, of his traveling show became about. So it's the things he can't talk about on TV because of sponsors or whatever else and all kind of stuff. And it really was one of those like aha moments. And I got to tell you, I walked into work. I went to bed at like 1 o'clock last night. I woke up at 6. I did, yeah.
You were hyped up.
I was
You
hyped
woke up
up.
with text on your phone.
Send me
and
a text like at 12:30 at night.
Yeah, I was going to bed.
And he's like, all these ideas we need to work on. I was like, let's go.
But it was interesting because it was like one of those little, like, just silly little things, if you would, that he just writes the ideas out. So, guys, hold on 1 second here. We got important business.
Yep, very important.
Do you want one?
business.
A bourbon, or are you going to stick with that?
I'll do whatever you guys are doing.
3 Elijah Craig on the rocks, please.
Thanks, Alan.
Allie.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, crap. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I went to screensaver.
It's pretty awesome to get that because Alton is a really like process-driven kind of scientific
Yes,
mind.
exactly.
But he's also an entertainer and
He
a
sings?
cook. So he does stuff that, like,
He's a
I've heard
comedian?
his show is not just how to
Yeah, he
cook.
sings. He sang 4 songs. Really good.
Really?
He rapped. He sang a country song. He sang what he called an angry song, and then a lullaby.
Hugo rapped for me once.
Yep.
Hugo only raps for me. Never mind.
No.
No.
He only unwraps.
After that broadcasting note fiasco, I don't know.
I'll tell you after the line.
I don't think
I'm-
I'm ever going to rap for you ever again.
But the point was where I was going. The whole new beginnings. That's why I call it new beginnings. Because like today, I woke up at 6. We were in Yakima. We had to drive home and then
drove
go to
home this
work.
morning?
Oh yeah, and then I go to work this morning. And I'm like, and I knocked all my. I have one more email to do tonight, but I knocked everything out. I did a whole bunch of other stuff. I was just like a productive day, and it's like. I'm not diving too much into my own mind, which you don't want to go into my mind. My mind's a really fucked up place to be in. But it was a nice moment of like clarity, like this whole last couple of weeks of things. Like I turned 40, and it's not a midlife crisis. It's more like realizing the world. You know, I almost died. I almost died.
It's a midlife crisis.
No,
I know because I'm going through it right now too,
no,
man.
but I went through my midlife crisis 2 years ago, right? So when I went to the hospital, I mean that was my midlife crisis.
I was gonna say your mind might be messed up, but not as much as your hand.
Not my hand, exactly. See, ding, 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 winner. Anyways, I'll get off my high horse. But that's new beginnings are about. The
You got
chance
inspired.
We're young.
Got inspired.
I mean, I love what I'm doing for work, but this little side passion is so much fun, and what we do here on the show. And now we're expanding it to something else.
I know what it's like, dude.
So.
Aaron asked me at the beginning of the show about the whole D&D thing, and I'm going to start writing short stories, campaign settings within the D&D environment, spinning off, not spinning off, it's going to be here by the end of this month. I'm going to have a website that's running short stories that I can't sell, game setting stuff about writing, because I need some variety in my creative because one of the things I notice is like with my Sound and Heart stuff, it's kind of channeled and formulaic a lot lately.
Yep.
And what made me and Sound and Heart succeed was when I was writing really weird shit.
Yes, right.
Talking about the enemy's goal is down.
Right. Absolutely.
I once wrote about Kurt Schmidt being an Aes Sedai, which if you read the Robert Jordan novels, essentially he's a male magician that goes out and seeks others like him.
Yep.
Stuff like that, and I want to bring back kind of that vivid imagery.
You feel like you're more structured, so you need that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna unleash some of that vivid imagery again.
That's great.
So
and that's
like
what
your
need.
new beginnings, it's the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's. I want to write. I mean, I wrote in high school. I mean, I did all that, and I really haven't. I mean, okay, you told me this like a year ago or whatever, 2 years ago when we started this thing. Like, I am writing when I do the show. I mean, it is a writing. It's a different kind of a writer. It's creative, and it's the. So I have about 2 months from 2 days ago to write my long story of my injury and my
Right, you want
it'll be 2
personal
years.
essay type of thing.
Right. So, but those are
What?
Essay.
yeah
About
my injury and everything, right?
Essay.
Yeah. Essay.
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 Same thing. Right?
YOLO. All right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I reclaim my virginity. Yes, thank you.
I don't know. I accidentally highlighted something.
S2. So Jesse wants to know if we can get an S2 and FC Tacoma scrimmage. That would be kind of funny. Now, that'd be an interesting thing. Just commentary there.
There's a possibility because I mean, obviously S2
We talked about that.
S2's scrimmaging with every local college right now.
They could
Right.
technically play in the U.S. Open Cup.
They could
could.
play in the Open
Yeah.
Cup if FCT 253.
Yes.
When they beat the crap out of that Cali side,
Temecula or San
FC.
Diego. Yep.
No, it's going to be Temecula, damn it.
It is Temecula. Yeah, exactly. It better
I
be.
need that because that's
Yeah.
a great story.
Yeah.
If FC Tacoma meets Temecula down in Temecula, wins, S2 and Temecula, or S2 and Tacoma
So wait, okay, let's talk about this.
could meet.
So round 1 is still amateur.
Yes.
Round 2 is still amateur.
Yeah.
Round 3 is USL.
Yes.
Round 4 is NASL.
NASL.
Round 5 is MLS.
MLS, and then after that, this year, what's unique
Yeah.
is the second round that involves MLS teams,
Which is round 6, technically.
round of 16.
Yeah, 16. Yep.
They're formalizing the bracket from that point forward.
Except for the case of S2 and S1 cannot
But
meet.
the bracket will be formalized. It'll just mean
Oh.
that they'll
Right.
be kept separate until
In
the final.
Correct. Yes.
But
correct.
what it means is you can finally have your NCAA bracket contest.
Wow.
It'll be
I can't
it'll only
wait.
be 16 teams.
Yes.
It'll be a football
But-
madness.
So we talk about the U.S. Open Cup a lot because those of you who are just joining us, that's
the
where we
foundation.
started. That's where the show started. We love the Open Cup.
One of the poorest decisions of my life.
I know. He had a chance to go with us and he turned us down.
It's tough, dude.
It happens.
But now, if you had gone, you might not
It
be
might have
sitting
been
here right now.
different. Yeah.
So
I could have died
we
on
may
the
have been
hate.
drunk in the exactly. You could have got your nipples pierced. So,
Oh yeah.
all
Let's
right.
go. Bacon. It's been a while.
If you guys have any more questions, ask them now. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back to the Twitter feed here. So Sounders 2, good news is Sounders 2 will be at UW tomorrow. So that's the good news. They confirmed it on my Twitter feed here that they will be there tomorrow.
Let me throw in a quick question to you, Dave.
Yo.
Any
Oh.
updates or heard anything on Jesus? What's it called? Question. This is horrible. Next, is it next year? Next year, it's not the Gold Cup. What is the
Copa Centario America.
Yeah, yeah,
Copa
yeah, yeah,
Americana
yeah.
Centario, the 100th anniversary
The 100th
Commonwealth
one.
Championship.
any idea at all?
Seattle is a finalist to be one of the hosts.
Okay, good. Thank God. Thank you.
An interesting thing about it is that it happens at the same time, well, not the exact same time, but in the same summer as the Olympics. And the Olympics are in Brazil. So your Brazilian team in the Copa Centario
Might not.
will be slightly reduced. Like Neymar, who qualifies as a Brazilian U23 for that Olympics,
God, I just thought you won't play on that.
he said, I'm going to the Olympics. It's in my home.
Really?
So he's not going to do the Copa Centario.
Oh, that's
Sanitario. But so Brazil and Argentina might be slightly reduced for that, which is great for the U.S. because we're not as good as Brazil and Argentina. We're probably not as good as Uruguay either. But on home field, we can match Mexico. Sorry,
it's all right. No. I've seen that
Wait,
happen
wait,
once or
what?
twice.
What'd you say?
match Mexico
Max,
and the U.S.
Oh, I wasn't go Dos Cero. What's that? Can you explain Dos Cero?
No need to. Anyhow, we're talking about
Or we can just talk about Freddie Adu getting the secondary assist down in Mexico City.
Oh, he wants to talk about his Graham Susie.
And
He
remember
loves
that friendly,
Graham
Brady?
I do
Susie.
love Graham
You remember that friendly when Freddie Adu, the United States, finally beat Mexico on Mexican soil?
All right.
I remember
I
that.
remember the Gold Cup
Oh,
final.
look at this. They
Ooh,
got
they
the
got-
bourbon. They got bourbon ice.
They've got ice balls.
They got the oh.
I haven't seen ice
Bourbon
balls.
balls.
Last time I was here
Cheers.
for an Elijah Craig order, Heather was here.
Look at that. Oh my God, that was a while ago. That they
Heather?
have. So one of the things about the Berliner that's awesome is that they are Dennis, one of the owners,
He's a bourbon fan.
big bourbon fan. So every time I walk in here, I see a new bourbon up there. But they have bourbon ice. Beautiful.
I remember way back when we had the bus. Dennis, bring the bus back. I know why he doesn't. I understand the math.
Well, actually, there is talk once they open up the Tacoma location that we'll be back.
But I remember doing the bus, and when we first did that, he goes, Dave, we've got this bourbon in. You want to try it? And I go, sure. I wasn't even in my bourbon phase yet. And he, like, climbs basically the shelf himself and gets down this thing that was 2/3 full. And he goes, I only have one bottle, and nobody buys it. I basically just drink it myself.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
And he gave me, Erin, and Lee. Like
I can't think of the
it was
name
a
of it.
half-ounce pour, and that was it. It was some French bourbon.
Yeah, I can't. Bastille. There's something part I can't think of the name of it though, but Bastille. It was. Oh my god, it was really good too. But it was a little bit too much Scotchy for me. I'm more of a bourbon fan than I am a Scotch fan. So
Speaking of Sean Wheeler, I love you.
yeah. So
And anytime Scotch is mentioned, I will say that.
we're gonna.
Why's that?
It's 9 o'clock. Believe it or not, we're already in a half hour into the post game. So
Wow.
we have about 10 minutes left or so.
Yeah, 5 to
We
10
have-
minutes because
yeah.
they're setting up the thingamadeal.
But one of the things I
Should
want.
I really should have thrown some in at him, Jesse.
Who had bacon tonight?
I had bacon. So I am going to the S2 game unless the world blows up. So we'll be there. If you guys get a chance, go out tomorrow night because S2 UW, it's going to be awesome. It is
You're watching S2 fighting for contracts,
Right.
and you're watching UW players where half of them know that they're going to be able to
Next
go
year.
pro next year.
Yep, exactly.
So it's a huge game. Huge game.
So yeah, go.
You know how there's tons of people that say the NCAA football is more exciting than NFL?
It is.
This is what it's like. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call it, but it's exactly what it's like. Every player is fighting for the dream. So it's exciting to see these matches. The Huskies,
Yep.
S2. I mean, it's hustling at your purest. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
for putting everything out there, man. It's gonna be great.
So Siggy Stardust made a comment here.
Oh.
He said he went to the FC Tacoma game on Friday on a whim. And actually, it was pretty funny because once I said I was going, I had a whole crew of hecklers there. I mean, it was funny how that happened. I can't imagine why. You know, people
I'll
want to
heckle
heckle
you
us.
soon, man.
But Siggy didn't come because of me. He went on a whim to the game, and he said he had a good time. And it's true. When you go watch some of this, and that's where S2 is going to be. I think those of us that got in early and have tickets, there are going to be a lot of people later who are going to like, I should have bought tickets earlier.
Look,
Hey,
$100.
And there's going to be tickets available. Don't get me wrong. But
Let's roll it back a little bit.
yeah,
In 2009 and 2008,
yeah.
about 25 to 30,000 people said, we're getting on board on this Sounders MLS thing.
Yep.
Shout out to my brother, Hiro. He made sure that I paid for that first season. He's like, dude, give me your money, let's go.
Years later,
Really? So
15,000
Hyro?
more people are like,
He's a-
damn, I
Right.
wish I'd been there in 09. Here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
S2 exists.
Right. Get on board.
Don't wish you were there.
No.
Yeah.
Be
Get on
there.
board. Right. Get on board. Get
That's
on board.
it. You have those choices.
Already did it once.
Right.
Yeah, same here. Listen,
People-
I was there watching Drew Carey raise the 12th man flag, called my wife and said, you hate football, I mean, American football. Here's soccer. I don't watch, I mean, I watched the World Cup maybe like 1 minute of it, right? In 10 years, whatever. Let's go. And then I called them like that week and said, or whenever they went on sale, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, like,
I
we
bought
scroll
tickets
back,
I bought tickets for my kid who wasn't even born yet. It wasn't even conceived yet.
We scroll back to 08.
Yeah.
And August of 08,
Oh,
I
God,
tell my
that's a
buddy,
horrible year.
Jason Churchill, Prospect Insider and 1090 The Fan, said, hey, remember when you asked me to start blogging? I'm in. He goes, awesome. What's your first baseball story? I go, no, we're launching a new blog and it's going to be talking about soccer because we're getting a soccer team. He goes, you're the only person I'd do that for. About 4 months later, my boss at the time had heard me talking soccer with this guy quite a bit. I go to her, I go, hey, Drew Carey's going to the Georgian Dragon. It's the night before the official reveal.
Yeah.
It's while I'm supposed to be working. She goes, Dave, go.
Yeah.
Go. Because you can't go back.
No.
You can be there. You can be there for year one of S2.
So Juan Valdez makes a great comment here. This is because it's. I wish our names were on the outside on the scarf.
About 22,000 people are.
So, and I have one regret in my life, is that my name's on there, not the Riley family. It's my name, and I wish it said the Riley family. I wish I would have said something different.
I've got a pretty.
So
my wife isn't a soccer fan.
Yeah.
But her name's on there, and I'm really excited about that because it's my wife, my brother, and I.
Yeah.
Since it's sorted by last name,
yes, it's
all three of us right next to each other. And God damn, that feels good.
Yeah, well, it's awesome my name's up there, but it really sucks as a dad to not have my family up there. Even though I didn't know my son wasn't born yet, but just to have the family.
If you could rewind,
I could. If I could. If I knew.
They were really weird about it, though. They would only do the person whose name was
on the account.
Yeah, you had to have split your tickets before you knew it was going to be
but
like
I didn't
that.
know that.
I'm depressed. My name's not on there.
We had split our tickets about 2 months into the season.
Yeah.
And now they don't really do that anymore.
No.
But
I mean, so I can't really change it, but that was one thing that would have been. So, all right, here we are.
Yeah, the partial ticket, as you just said online. Brasbit over here, the voice.
So I was at that Seahawks.
The Drew Carey game?
No. The Seahawks focus group.
Digital.
And in there, we were in the presidential suite where the Seahawks president watches, and I don't know if that's where the Sounders Brass watches too, but they had some items that were Sounders related in there. And one of them was the photo of the starting 11 from that 09.
First game.
I immediately got the chills to the back of my neck because I remember hearing Boom Boom Clap for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at my brother, he looked at me, and we were both like, yeah.
Done. Over.
On.
Yeah,
It's
done.
fucking on. Let's go.
So, and you're like me. You're a Hawks fan like me.
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
football fan like me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a soccer fan at this point. I mean, now once we bought the tickets, and you guys know this about me, I went all in. I watched. I know, really right. I watched every minute of soccer I could watch.
Traveled to
Period.
Open Cup games.
Everything.
Now
I
when
watched,
you travel around the world, you go to games.
everything. But that first game, I had a ski trip, like the RSL game that was, I think, the second or third game of the season. I had a ski trip already planned. I went to Bachelor. It was on TV. And I'm in the hotel room with my mother-in-law and father-in-law in one bed, my daughter in one bed, and then me in the couch, and the chair.
Since this is the after show, I just want to point out that he was sharing the room with his in-laws in bed.
And my daughter was in my room. She was.
I'm making a joke, dude. Don't make jokes.
No, she was 6.
Are you Mike Pacific?
Yes. No, my God. He's actually not a bad guy. But, for a Portland fan. But, it was that moment of like, here I am, they're all going to sleep. They're all dead at sleep. And I have got the game like on volume 1, so I can hear just enough of it. And I'm watching after skiing all day in my hotel room in Bachelor.
I know the disease, man.
And it was like, at that point, it was like, all right, tie it on, let's go. Because I'm just like,
it was either
done.
2010 or 2011 preseason game.
Yeah.
I had the good fortune from my parents. They had taken me to Cabo, and I live blogged a preseason game from a resort in Cabo where I was streaming the radio call.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, we can go out?" And I'm like, "Gotta do it."
Yeah.
And it's become a thing. Like, we took a week off in summer 2012. My dog, my wife, my mother-in-law, we went camping out at Steamboat Rock, which is north of Spokane. It's 110 degrees. Awful.
Yeah.
Had the radio on. I listened to, it was Arlo still then.
Yeah.
Listened to the radio call. Couldn't blog about it.
Yeah.
But we had the radio call because I'm like, no, not going on a hike right now, not going to the lake right now. I'm listening to the game. And that was kind of one of the scenes where that whole side of the family was like, so this Dave guy, he's not well.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I have never claimed to be well.
My boss is like, you always have your scarf with you. And I'm like, yeah, always. I've watched games Singapore, watched or listened. Singapore, Italy, Germany.
Those are a lot more exotic than Steamboat Rock.
Switzerland, Korea. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, I have watched games literally all around the world. And that's like, I have set my alarm when I was in Italy. And I was going to San Siro that night. I was at San Siro, and I got home at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I set my alarm for 2 in the morning to like watch the game, and it's like, And that was
It's a disease.
That
Like,
was the
you can catch
RSL
it.
game. We lost 0-3 though. Remember that? Well, the first two, right? So, but I still listened, and I'm like, and then I came home and we almost won that. Well, we had that.
We're a week and a half away, man.
Oh, I know.
Wait, 13 days, barring any CBA stuff.
So let's end on this happy note of like
13 days.
13 days. This
beginnings.
Dave, as always, you're just outstanding. You bring
El mero mero, sir.
what he said.
The man.
Numero uno.
Yes.
That means number one.
Yes.
You know what I've never done in my visits to Mexico?
What?
Figured out Spanish.
I speak very good Spanglish, but that's about it. It's
Y
unfortunate.
amigo, pero ¿qué pasa? Tenemos que tomar tequila.
Or bourbon.
Or bourbon.
I'm telling these guys a joke once we get off the air.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you, the new folks for watching, enjoyed it. Come back next week. We'll be back on next Monday.
Yes.
Next Monday will be our preseason finale.
All first team.
Yep,
first
all
team.
first team.
We'll talk a little bit of everything probably, but
A lot of Pineda. Mucho Pineda.
so thank you all very much. We'll go quick Wonka,
Clint.
and then we'll go off the air.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Let's go.
Bacon!
See you next week.
Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong. Wrong, sir, wrong.
You lose. Contract signed by him. You get washed. You get sterilized. You get nothing. Good day. You lose.
Wrong, sir, wrong.
I said
Wrong, sir, wrong.
you get.
Wrong, sir, wrong.
I said
Wrong, sir, wrong.
you lose. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Black clear as crystal. You lose. Good day. Good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day. Good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day. Good day. Nothing. You lose. Get good day. Good day. Nothing. You lose. You get nothing. You get you get nothing. You get nothing. Clear as crystal. You lose. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Black and white. Black and white. Oh, there. Clear as crystal. You lose. Fax mentis incendium gloria culpum memo bis punitor della contemporary